I come from Kubix. We are a Shopify agency. We do a whole bunch of work for a whole bunch of clients. But more specifically, we've done over 100 activations with Rebuy on client websites, and that is across a whole host of different verticals. We've dealt with a lot of different queries from the very normal to the very strange and managed to leverage it through Rebuy. And as I said, I do consider myself Rebuy's #1 fan. That has been born from the fact that I have spent a lot of time in the business working on these clients, and I firsthand have felt the ability to be very agile in how you can adapt and upsell, cross-sell, do whatever you want on site with tools like Rebuy. It's why I'm such a big fan of them, because they really give opportunities to very quickly gain more revenue, more customers, whatever that might be for your brand. I'm not messing around. There's no denying, we all know what it is. It's, 4 weeks tomorrow, is it? There's no denying it's on the horizon. So when I knew what the date was, not only is it my other half's birthday, so I'll be having to rush off and go and get to have a drink with him afterwards. I also thought we're right in the midst of Black Friday, BFCM, peak selling, Q4, whatever you want to call it. We're right in there. E-com brands are feeling it. We know we're in that kind of very busy period. So I thought, what would be a nice way to talk, about my sort of obsessive love of Rebuy, but also about some tangible actions that people can take away. So I'll come on to exactly how we're setting it up, but the idea of this is sort of what can you do in Black Friday to help that sort of turn the dial that little extra few percent. So in terms of Black Friday itself, we've all seen the market change over the past few years. If we rewind 5 years, you could chuck 20% off, 30% off site, you'd get a whole bunch of sales, you'd have a fantastic Black Friday, everyone would walk away happy. We're not in that market anymore. A lot of things have changed. Customers are more economical, they are more sustainable. The market has shifted. People aren't just going on, we're not in lockdown for starters. People aren't just going on and buying products, they're thinking about it more, whether that's because they're worrying about the cost of items, whether that's because they're trying to be more sustainable about it, whatever it might be. They're being a bit more cautious. And what this gives us the opportunity to do is say, hey, instead of just chucking a product out, chucking a discount out, here's a collection, here's a sale, we need to start differentiating ourselves in that market to really start to speak to our customers. And one of the ways we can do that is through recommending products. So what we're going to do, we've got 3 scenarios. It's a bit of a university lecture session here, I feel like. I was going to make a joke about getting your workbooks out. We've got 3 scenarios of purely fictional brands. So 3 different use cases, and what I'm going to do, I may come to regret this later on, but I'm really relying on my experience of the platform here. I am going to go into Rebuy and I'm going to show how you can very quickly, in the space of a couple of minutes, like I was saying, turn that dial a couple of extra percent and help drive more revenue for your brand. So, scenario number 1. Let's think about it in kind of that CPG area. We've got a coffee brand. Let's call it Bob's Beans. We like alliteration. This brand, they've been growing for a while, they've got a really nice customer base, people pop on, they buy some beans, they buy this, that and the other, and they're sort of sat there going, what's their goal this Black Friday? And they've decided that the goal for them is to increase average order value. They want people to bulk up, that's not the word I'm trying to, stock up on the beans, bulk up if you want, stock up on their beans. They want to come on and go, hey, let's buy some more. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go into Rebuy. One of my favourite areas of Rebuy is the Smart Cart. And the first thing that we're going to do is one of the simplest things we could do in this. In this scenario, I should have caveated this in my dive-in section. We're not saying that this is a brand that's only just starting on Rebuy. I'm not sitting here and I'm going to go, if you're doing fashion, have you thought about putting a complete the look widget on the product page? We're not in that era. We know that. We know Rebuy can do it. We love it. We're going, hey, you're running on Rebuy. Let's dive deeper. You can ignore, it's a demo store. There's a mix of products, so just ignore the hoodies that are coming up with my beans here. So the very first thing we're going to do is they don't normally do this. Through Black Friday, they want to offer a discount specifically if you're buying multiples of this product. We can do this in a bunch of different ways, but we can also do it very quickly with buy more, save more in the Smart Cart. I'm going to turn that switch on. We can see a highlighted product. We can add some thresholds in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, I'm going big here. I want people to be hooked on caffeine. We're going to say if you buy 3 bags of beans, I'm going to give you a 10% discount. If you buy 5 bags of beans, we're going to do 20%. So we've got 2 tiers in there. I'm also just going to switch on my Shopify functions. This means I don't have to go and set up any discounts. It's all going to do the job for me. And then I'm going to pop in here. I'm going to find my beans. There we go. And already I can press publish and I have buy more, save more in my cart. So, I mean, core functionality, we're just showing how we can use it. The other thing that I can think of doing here is let's tap a little bit into the customer psychology, right? So someone's come on here, right? I am a fanatic about my coffee today, apparently. I've gone in and I've gone, do you know what? I'm having 5 bags of beans. I'm not messing around. We're having 5 bags of beans. We can then read into what that customer's journey is saying and saying they are willing to spend more money. Someone that's coming on and buying 1 bag of beans, they're maybe not willing to spend more money, but someone that's coming on and going, hey, I'm here to spend this Black Friday, I'm going to buy 5, they might be saying, do you know what? I want to buy something else. So what we can do then is if we hop out the smart cart, quickly save that, and I'm going to come into checkout and post-purchase. And what I want to do here is I want to create a new checkout widget. I want it to recommend some products. Let's just do BF beans. Fabulous. And then what I'm going to do, we can add some language in here. Again, I'm not a copywriter. You may also we can be more imaginative about it. We've now got a widget set up. So the next thing I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to go into my data source. I'm going to pop that out. And what I'm going to say, product rules, product contains any, I want to say if it's beans. I'm also going to add a rule to say if in the cart line item count is greater than, let's say 3, I'm going to add a condition. I'm going to say it needs to be from my coffee beans collection. I then want to show them a specific product, or collection, I suppose. But in this example, I might want to show them, I've got a manual hand grinder for those lovely beans that you've just bought. So I could put in that manual coffee grinder, and there I've built a lovely little data source to feed into my checkout widget that I can go and place in, and I'm now adding an extra layer of upsell for another step of that journey for those customers that we've seen have higher buying intent. Scenario 1. Next one we're doing. We have a fashion brand. This fashion brand has a loyalty scheme, may or may not use Yotpo. Shout out. They've got a loyalty scheme running on site, and they have a VIP tier of customers. This one's the quickest of all of them. I love this one. They have a VIP tier of customers, and they are launching their Black Friday sale 24 hours early to those customers, right? They've got their Klaviyo flows in place, they've got this, that, and the other, but we're now looking, how can we make sure they're finding it? What if that customer was on the bus in the morning, they saw their email, and they saw they'd got this VIP access, went to work, lunch break rolls around, and they're all of a sudden like, oh, wait a second, I've got that VIP access. They go to the website, but there's no link. So, back to the computer. In this instance, we can use one of the newer features of Rebuy and do a lovely little smart flow. So, I'm going to set up a smart flow here. I'm going to use a global promotion because I want this to be for anyone that's landing on the website. I'm going to start from scratch, even though we have some lovely pre-built options here. Let's call it Fashion VIPs. Great. And then this is the simplest smart flow you may ever see. We can do far deeper things and they are brilliant. But in this one instance, I want to do something really simple. I want to add a banner for a customer who's in this VIP segment. So I'm going to go in. I am going to come to Klaviyo segments because my Yotpo feeds into my Klaviyo, so on and so forth. I am going to come down here and I've got a lovely VIP loyalty tier in there. And I'm going to say if it includes this user, I would like to add a website banner. We do, hey, VIP early access here. And then I'm going to come to here. I can add in a link. Let's just be like /sale for argument's sake. And underline it. That's my styling issue, bear with. Just so we can make sure it looks like a link. I've now got a banner that I can click save and publish on site, and that's now going to show for everyone in that VIP loyalty segment. Nice. I don't need a round of applause every time. Now we have Now we've got our third and final scenario. Here we're talking about people that are very much in that routine economy. So we're going to go beauty in this example, but it could be supplements, could be protein, could be anything that we have a habit of taking, using. In this instance, they are trying to gain new customers. They're trying to attract new people to their website, and when they come to the website, they want to maximize that opportunity. So how can we do that? I'm going back to the computer again. I should just stay here. So, leave. So what we're going to do in this instance, they've got a smart cart running, and they've got a lovely little starter kit that they're going to add on site. What we want to do is layer on a rule. This goes into what me and Tim were slightly geeking out over, is like 43 rule deep data sets. What we could do is we could pop in a rule in our existing smart cart widget to say, oh, if you've bought this product, you may also like this, and we could put the next step in their routine there. So we've got a kit of serums, we want to give them a moisturiser, for example. But in this instance, again, if we want to go to the psychology of it, we might want to highlight that product front and centre. We don't want to feed it into just a standard recommendations, we're going to add a new widget in. So I am going to go to cart and merchandising, I'm going to go into a widget. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do in this, again, is I'm going to go straight out to my data source. We can change the styling and the language. I'm not a copywriter, we've witnessed that already. And what I'm going to do in this example is I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, again, if product, this time we've got a starter kit. Skin Essentials starter kit, lovely. Some beautifully AI-generated imagery. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to return a specific product at this step. So I'm going to return a moisturiser. There we go. And now, I can put this straight into my smart cart. The beauty of this is that when someone that is a new customer has landed on the website, they've gone onto their basket, well, they've gone onto the product page, they've gone, hey, this starter kit, let's say it's discounted, it's Black Friday. The starter kit's discounted, I'm going to give it a go. They've pressed add to cart. Your smart cart has flown out, and now we've added a widget that's going to pop up, and it's the very first thing they're going to see, because we're going to place it right into those product items. So they're going to see their product they've added, and before they even see just general recommendations, they're going to see something where you can add a copy like the next step of your routine, giving them that nuance of, hey, if you like this, why don't you buy this extra item as well? It's probably also discounted. Again, it's Black Friday, and we're just adding in steps of that journey. We could then also go as far as, in this example, we've got jade rollers. We might have overbought stock. It's happened, guys. We might have overbought stock. What we could do then is say another step of the journey that someone's coming along. We don't want to overload everything in one place. We're going to go into post-purchase. I'm not going to do post-purchase because I've gone back and forth to the laptop too many times. But we could say open up a post-purchase offer and give them the opportunity to buy a discounted jade roller at that last step. If they have added the starter kit and then they've added the moisturiser, they might want another option for a few quid at the end that we can add in another step of. Again, very similar to Tim and his peers. Pillars. Very similar to those in that as we go along each step, we're thinking about that journey. We're not just overloading the smart cart with a bunch of upsells. We're saying, hey, what can we do at different stages? What can we do about the different psychologies of the customer at each point? It's Black Friday. They're not your normal shoppers. Even your regular shoppers are buying in a different habit. So sit back, think, hey, how are they progressing through that journey, and how can we best optimize it at each step for this specific period? I've just shown you in like 10, 20 minutes a bunch of different things you can do very easily to add that on. So my key takeaways at the end: personalize properly. Again, don't just leverage what AI is telling you. Have a think about the journey. Have a think about the journey specifically for Black Friday and make the most of it. Consider each step. Don't just overload everything on a product page or a cart. Think about how someone might progress through that journey and how you can use tools like Rebuy to optimize that journey at every single step. Leverage AI insights. There's data everywhere. Triple well always gives you a lot of data. There's data everywhere, so make the most of it, especially during Black Friday, because things are moving very quickly and trends can emerge. And then iterate fast. If you see a trend emerging, it might be that there's some products that are being bought together that you didn't think were before Black Friday, but a day into your sale, you've noticed this trend. Well, if you quickly add a little widget into your cart, your checkout, wherever it might be, you're now going to surface that to a whole other section of customers that might not have thought to get there, but will follow that same trend and buy them together. And again, increase revenue. Thank you. That was a whirlwind.